I'm here with Barack Obama's former communications director and the host of Pod Save America, Dan Pfeiffer. Dan, thanks so much for joining me.
Good to see you.
So, right off the bat, we are coming out of the aftermath of Barack Obama delivering a major sweeping speech last night here at the DNC. I want to turn your attention to what Donald Trump just said in response to that speech.
Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy. Don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy?
So Donald Trump is complaining here that he isn't able to stick to policy. And as we all know, Donald Trump is a big policy guy. What did you make of his response?
Like weak sauce. Like, what are we doing here? Like, he really, he needs a permission structure to insult people. Like, what bothers him so much about President Obama is the way Obama talks about Trump is he does it with humor. He doesn't take him seriously. He sort of reveals him to be the clown that he is. What Trump wants to do is to make us mad, to make us react out of outrage, to inflate the sense that he is some sort of strong, scary threat. And when he gets diminished like that, that's when he gets craziest.
What do you think the overarching goal of Obama's speech was yesterday, and was he able to accomplish it?
Oh, absolutely. I think for both Obamas, there were two things they had to do. One is to tell the story of who Kamala Harris is. They've both known her for 20 years. She's a friend of theirs. She was one of his earliest and most ardent supporters. Anyone who works on that campaign knows her because she's famous for being a politician who actually really worked like a regular volunteer. She went to Iowa and knocked doors. And so they told that story. Also is that she is in some ways the heir to the Obama political movement, right? She campaigns in the same way. She's running to turn the page on the Trump era, much in the way that Obama was running to turn the page on the Biden era. Turn the page on the Bush era. And so that's what the excitement in the room was last night, is that people could feel that sort of passing of the torch.
You know, we saw the Hope and Change campaign in 2008 and the way that gripped the nation, and that was largely gone from 2016 because Hillary Clinton wasn't running that same type of campaign. It was gone in 2020 because it was just about
Trump. It was about Trump.
It was about Donald Trump and getting ourselves away from that. Why do you think that it took so long for Democrats to realize that is the secret sauce, so to speak, that will lead us to win elections?
We've never confronted anything like Trump before.
Yeah.
And in fairness, the campaign in 2020 worked. Democrats have made politics about Trump for a decade now, right? It's been nine years ago he came down that escalator. And that did not work in 2016, but it worked in 22. It worked in 20, it worked in 22, it worked in 2018. Basically every time other than 2016 it worked. But things have changed now, right? You can sense it in how sort of frustrated people were by the choices they had in this election, that they were tuning out, they were tired of what we've been doing the same thing for so long. And what Kamala Harris offers is something different. Now, politics is not about Trump. And you see that, I think we'll see that in the speech she gives tomorrow night. We see that in how she campaigns, is that she is campaigning for herself about what she is going to do, not against Trump or she's not talking about the bad things he would do, it's more about the good things she would do.
What I thought was most striking was, a lot of people would look at what Joe Biden did, and I guess for us, for political freaks, it should be enough, the campaign that Joe Biden was running, because when you have somebody like Donald Trump, clearly he poses enough of a threat that it shouldn't matter who the Democratic candidate is. You can run a paper bag. It is protecting democracy, but that clearly wasn't enough, because Joe Biden running a campaign solely predicated on anti-Trump because he couldn't make an affirmative case for himself. He was losing in states, according to polling, like Minnesota and New Mexico and Virginia, and so you can't win campaigns like that. And so this was the X factor that I think most people forget that we need when we think back to how we're going to win elections and build up this coalition.
And I think it's just this is part of what President Obama was saying, is Trump is a clown. But there is a long history in this country and in the world of clowns like Trump succeeding in times of insecurity and chaos and fear. And, President Clinton very famously said once, when people are, I'm paraphrasing him here, when people are worried and anxious, they will default to a candidate who is strong and wrong rather than someone who's weak and right. And so we should not underestimate Trump's appeal. And that Obama really was speaking to the fact that we have real persuasion work to do in this campaign. There are people, they know Trump is an ass. But they are looking for something different in their politics, and we have to show that we are something different and something better.
Let's finish off with this. What was the point at Obama's speech that you thought was most memorable?
I think the allusions to the 2000, this is a very personal experience for me to be here in Chicago, to be there, to get to see him before the speech. So this is like an emotional moment. But his allusions to the 2004 convention speech, because that's the thread that has been through all. I was with him in 08 at the convention, I was with him in 12 at the convention, I was with him at 16 in the convention. I had to watch it from home in 20 like everyone else. And so to be back here again and hear that consistent thread and how little his messaging has changed over that period of time is very meaningful to me personally.
And you think it's tough for him to have to follow Michelle?
There's only one person in the world who could pull that off, and that was him. I always, he would agree with this point, which is he's the best speaker in the Democratic Party, but the second best speaker in his own home. So,
right. Yeah. All right. Well, that was Dan Pfeiffer. Thanks so much, Dan, for joining. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
The people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on. We each do our part over the next 77 days. If we knock on doors, if we make phone calls, if we talk to our friends, if we listen to our neighbors, if we work like we've never worked before, if we hold firm to our convictions, we will elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States and Tim Walz as the next vice president of the United States. We will elect leaders up and down the ballot who will fight for the hopeful, forward-looking America we all believe in, and together we too will build a country that is more secure and more just, more equal and more free. So let's get to work. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.